Maybe I have questioned what is in front of my eyes my whole life. Not so ideal for my parents and those attempting to direct me into a reasonable, content existence, but what can I say? I have just the right amount of strengths and self-management skills to sneak under the radar, and just enough campaigner and rebel to cause a ruckus. What I have never questioned is what I see without my eyes, a deeper understanding of the wisdom and flow of life that is happening beyond the rat race, a depth without borders, a depth outside of the box. I am here in these words projecting out of your speakers to shine a light on a different idea, to spread seeds of possibility, to offer balance and disruption, to adjust the camera towards the kinks and shadows of ourselves, and to appreciate every nook and crevice of our existence. I am offering this podcast as a collaborative experiment with life, a journey of freedom making and change shaking, a new way that starts within you. Welcome back, everybody, to Freedom Frequencies. Welcome back, me. It has been a little while, as seems to be my narrative as of late. Like all of us, I navigate what is mine to do amongst the busyness of every day, the juggling of duties and tasks and joys and desires, which leads me so perfectly into my thoughts for today. Oh, the existential question of why we are here. At any given moment, I am sure this question is on a number of minds in the world. Some bring focused awareness to it on the daily, and some run into it only during pivotal moments of life. I often look at life around me to learn from. I will look at a plot of forest and notice how diverse and imperfect it is in its perfection and translate that to the human life. I will look at how my dog lives so simply and in joy of each moment and use that as a reminder. I will see something dead and decaying on the ground on a walk and how much life it is giving way to, and I let that represent how when I let go of something in my life or some way of being, I make room for the birth of something new. This past month, I forged forward in a new experience to me called a forest circle. I went into an isolated place in nature for 5 days and 5 nights, completely cut off from humanity and my normal life. No phone, no internet, no communication, no dog, no people, no toys or games or distractions of any kind. The premise is to be in nature and spend 1 hour per day in meditation, 1 hour in journaling, 1 hour in reading deep spiritual texts, 1 hour of light exercise like walking, and 1 hour of yoga. And the rest of the 3/4 of the day is to be spent in contemplation of life in an overall way. Mixed with some light meals and good sleeps, it seemed like it would be self-care to its best degree. And at the same time, if you're anything like me, it sounded a bit terrifying. I have already done some silent retreats and yoga retreats and many sections of time of contemplation and meditation daily. But this many days alone without distraction, I knew it would be difficult in some way. But I trust the process of discovery, so I said yes and went to the family cabin on the ocean with its little beach out front, the perfect spot for this sort of endeavor. As I arrived, I sent out my emergency-only debriefs and turned off my phone and got set up with a fire and settled in and started my day 1. The first 2 days felt overall like good self-care. I recall thinking to myself, yes, okay, this is good for me, with a sigh of relief. As good for me as any other type of retreat I have done, I'm sure. Mind you, come afternoon, evening, I would start to stir, having not spoken to or seen anyone in 2 days, and not able to do some work or read a good story or even eat to distract myself and kill the time. and the days progressed from there. As I said, a part of my practice for that week was to journal for 1 hour every day. And at some point, I thought it would be interesting and yet vulnerable to share some of the daily journals with you. So here goes something. Forest circle. Well, this is the start, day 1. Well, like the 3rd hour or something. I forgot a new journal, so I will attempt to write small. The first hour or so, I got myself settled, sorted my groceries out, unpacked, made the bed I will be sleeping in, and built a fire. Then I snuggled up and read a book about the Dalai Lama for a bit, meditated but fell asleep for 20 minutes or so, checked out the firewood situation, made tea, watched the ocean and birds, daydreamed, and did my 6 times book practice. It hasn't been that long. It's still cold in here, and this is only the beginning. No profound tidbits yet. However, I know I should let that go. And it's only been 3 hours, for crying out loud. For a moment, I contemplated how faith and religion seem to be a language of the heart, and the nature of life is a different language. I am not sure what yet. This may be a long week. I can already feel the value and the challenge. I am super grateful for the family cabin. So beautiful and so comfortable. I will have to remember kindling for the weekend. And what else might I possibly be out of by then? What is at the depths of my shame? Is it that I've grown up and lived in a culture that has taught me that I am not okay as I am? It is still the first day of my forest circle, 8 p.m. now, and it is hard. I have contemplated turning on the TV for Pete's sake, and I don't even like TV. What exactly am I trying to escape from? I like meditation and books and yoga and the ocean and the beaches and tea. I feel this serious urge to accomplish something, but nope, not allowed to work. Okay, but still, TV. I will sit in stillness. I will breathe, and I will let whatever there is to arise, rise up. Am I not okay as I am? I think I'm a pretty stand-up person, but I do have this corrective part of me that feels the need to manage my world. I know what that's about. I have done plenty enough self-inquiry to know that that's my safety mechanism at work. No work, Colette. Not even inner correction. Okay, if I am not correcting my inner world, and right now is this cabin, I don't have much for an outer world, what am I left with? Accepting what is, I guess. Noticing, feeling, and accepting. Let me take a moment to remember this is good for me. Good. On my way to my good. Or my good is finding me here. I will just put out my lighthouse beacon here on this ocean so my good can find me easily. Day 2, Forest Circle. So far, it feels like a great deal of self-care. Everything in me is settling. Today, the chop wood, carry water spiritual practice came into my mind. Although I don't have to carry water where I am, thank goodness for indoor plumbing, I get the attraction to the whole simplistic life movement. We have gotten so far away from that in so many ways. I wonder why we have these big minds. Call it evolution or call it purpose. I don't think we have them to create all this complex, unnecessary suffering. I am watching the ducks and the sea lions and the otters today. They seem to be keeping it real simple. There has got to be something to that. Well, still day 2. I have wondered whether I feel lonely or not. I don't think so. It's still a battle of productivity, though. I definitely do not want to turn on the TV anymore. But is it possible to answer the meaning of life or solve all of humankind's challenges in 5 days? Maybe that's what I'll do. I wonder what is going on out there in the world. Still all waves and silence and wildlife for this girl. I think my own voice inside my own head has gotten louder. I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I see, I know. Chants in my head from the chakra cacao ceremony. I wonder if the voice in my head will say anything interesting. Keep letting go. Keep surrendering. Why surrender anyways? What are we surrendering to when we do this? There might be a podcast episode in all this journaling. Oh wait, is that being productive? Perhaps what one is to let go of is uniquely their own. Maybe if that question was asked to everyone, it would be completely different. I think I am needing to let go of the idea that there's anything wrong with me. As everything settles, I am reminded of how right I am at the core of my being, and that any of the othering, judgment, or separation I find myself doing is just an indication of how I'm feeling about myself. The other day I was troubleshooting in one of the tenants' offices that I manage, and Jill gave a Mickey Mouse suggestion of what we could do to mitigate the less than desirable light situation we were dealing with, and I said, "No way," in a stressed out, less than desirable way. And my good friend Eric called me on it for not speaking so nicely. Thank you, Eric, because when I thought about it, I realized how right before I said that, I was imagining how I was going to have to tell this tenant how I was so less than capable to give them a lovely working space. Holy. Day 3. What would happen if I stopped forcibly pushing to make things in life happen? I know I'm a performer, and I am productive, and I am often busy, and I enjoy a full life. But another part of me knows that I create my life from the inside out. I trust life to take me on a ride that is amazing. What can I change to really put this understanding to the test? It can be so difficult to see the subtle ways in which each person has built their lives around limiting beliefs. Which ones are getting in my way? How does one believe there are multiple ways to accomplish something or have an experience that you want when you have only seen one or two ways? Experiment, I guess. We have made it a doer's world. So an experiment for the opposite should be interesting. It doesn't seem that any other part of life lives by the need to get shit done. Where did this idea come from? Has the snowball of trying to fit in just rolled downhill for way too long? I was walking today in the woods and I saw a black squirrel, which, if I remember correctly, is the one that people say is invasive, and one of my in-laws had a rather traumatic awakening after he caught one and drowned it following the invasive species suggestions. I thought to myself, if a type of squirrel is invasive, then so are our blackberry bushes. I guess some people keep those chopped back, but for the most part, they seem to be enjoyed. What about us? The white person to this part of the globe was invasive. Where do these ideas of the way things should be even come from? Why is one thing rejected and another just the way it is? Is it possible for everything to be accepted as it is? Is it possible for us to set down our ideas of a right way? What would that take? I feel like my dog right now, perched on the back of the couch staring out the windows. She is not allowed on the couch, but when she's cooped up staring out the window, I wonder what she's thinking about. Just now I found myself head rested and eyes darting around the various things bobbing in the water. Imagining being out there bobbing around. Is that what she does? I officially understand that midweek slump. I never really experience it in my normal life. My weeks always go so fast, and I love my work and various activities. Right now, I wonder if the weekend will ever come, or if I will even make it there. End of day 3. What the hell am I doing here? Pretty sure my body hates sitting so much. And sure, I'm reading great literature, but I am by myself, so what good is that? Maybe some earthly catastrophic event will occur so I can be saved from here. Ugh! Maybe a meteor will hit this beach right now. That would be interesting. Day 4. In this existence of doing nothing or not getting anything done, I'm noticing this strange tactic of my mind to try and grab hold of ideas or future scenarios and create a plan. Then this other part of me says, put those thoughts down. There isn't just one way. Trust you're good. It's a strange insight into how I'm always doing that in life, and that is likely what is meant by getting in the way of life. I am seriously always aiming to get out of the way and let life work through me, and I am finding it a little easier to do right now. Perhaps the business of everyday life lets that tendency go unnoticed or disguised at least. I need not do anything. I need not work to make my good happen. My strengths do not go unappreciated, but as much as I can help myself, I am also the creator of my problems. Me, myself alone, is but that, a speck in the scheme of it all. When I zoom out, even this bay that seems rather huge and powerful with waves crashing and cloudy skies as far as I can see is small. Another speck. Me with others is far stronger. Me and the universe are a majority. I need my cosmic connection. I need other people to really have a fulfilled and joyful life. Funny that I say that as I sit alone as the sun sets. Although I feel the value of this alone time, forcing my mind inward as I deprive outer stimulation. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I feel the value, and actually, I'm super grateful for the mindful life that I have already created. My daily practices, my expressions of love, my contemplative time, my balance, my freedom. I review my work and my life often, which is part of this week's practice. I have had some new insight and have noticed the places where I am still grounded in the same truths. As always, I am right on track. And on another note, I can feel myself grow a dissatisfaction for the notion of going back to any significant amount of screen time. We know it is such a cause of exhaustion and depression, and yet, like most addictive substances, we do it anyways. I find myself on the lesser side of that scale, but now, with none, I can see how it steals attention and creativity. I guess that's why the makers of devices and social media limit their own selves and children's intake of it. 90 minutes per week by the man who invented Snapchat. Enough said. Day 5. Rise, meditate, walk the beach, yoga, breakfast, 1 hour of light walking, yoga, read, meditate, contemplate, rest, pace back and forth maybe, stare out the windows, roll around the floor, read some more, contemplate, meditate, think about nature, watch the nighttime ocean from my bed, go to sleep, and repeat. I am so excited to get back into my life, to snuggle my dog and cats, to talk to those I love, to connect with people at my work, to listen to something other than the ocean and thoughts in my head, as much as I love the ocean. To replenish my groceries, to be home, to spread my inspiration, to be of service, to laugh with others, to have a bath, to listen to some music, to contribute my awesome self to the world, to make someone's day, to grow, and to know my good. Day 6. The forest circle is over now, and at first I was feeling like a person coming out of a cave who is just seeing the light of day for the first time in a long time, not really sure what to make of it or what to say. Now that I am getting back into life, society, people, talking, home, interacting, and so on, I get it. It's like a complete reset of the mind. Although I'm not sure I can put it into words that make sense yet. I feel like it's hitting the reboot on a computer to one's whole psyche. No information coming at you on the daily, so you actually get the opportunity to clear the slate of the mind. Now it feels like as information or situations come at me, it's not compiled, but rather a fresh start and perspective. Profound and simple. Well, there you have it. Some tidbits from my week in the Forest Circle. I am not sure that it was a sales feature into exploring your own Forest Circle, but I do highly recommend it. We need more sections of time in our lives, in our days, in our moments where we get to the clean slate and where we get to our own answers and clarity as to why we are here. Do I know this for the whole picture of my life? No. But I do know it for this now moment, and that's what matters. Onwards to our freedom. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, peace. Thank you to the Center for supporting this Freedom Frequencies podcast.